This is Sunrise Extra, streaming live on Wave Now.
Friday Eve. Good morning.
I mean, it's been such a beautiful week. We've been able to enjoy it, and then the weekend's going to be just as nice, too.
Getting a little bit warmer, so I'm trying to figure out whose pool I'm going to crash. Basically, this weekend, as we see the warmer weather coming our way. Right now, we are just on the cool and comfortable side, but most of us waking up the temperatures in the 50s, 54 degrees in Litchfield and Columbia, 55 into Bedford and Madison, 52 still in Frankfort, 62 at the airport in Louisville. The sun now over the horizon, and we're seeing a lot of those clear skies for most of us for this morning on our Kentucky Mesonet cameras. So a beautiful start to the day. Grab those sunglasses as we head over the next 12 hours. Going to rebound into the mid 80s for your highs. That southerly wind will be around for today. So that means slightly higher humidity in the forecast. And we're going to keep that humidity on the rise through the rest of the week into the weekend as temperatures also climb into the upper 80s to near 90 degrees by your Saturday and Sunday. Rob.
Tawana, thanks so much. Keeping our eyes on a traffic alert that we want to pass along to you. A two-car crash reported just a few minutes ago. This is the area that we're talking about at the Waterston eastbound at I-65 near the airport interchange. Of course, a lot of those construction barrels out there you have to watch out for. But right now, the right lane is blocked. Again, this after a two-car crash in that area. So certainly watch your speed as you approach that area. This is a live look at all that work. Again, that 5-mile stretch of 65 closed down for 2 months. This is a peek at 65 at St. Catherine Street. Look at the difference. All the work underway out there right now, but hopefully all that'll be cleared up within the next 2 months. Still watching cleanup of one car crash from earlier this morning that was at Eastern Parkway at Dahlia Drive. Back over to you.
Thank you. Well, we know it can be hard getting around town with that 5-mile stretch of I-65 closed. And Wednesday, there were a lot of slowdowns. There was a crash on the Waterston near Breckenridge Lane, plus a vehicle fire on the Waterston approaching I-71. No reports of serious injuries in either incident, but when this happens, it can add even more time to your commute. That's why transportation leaders say relying on mapping apps can help save you during the shutdown. And now more signs have been put up next to the infamous can opener or the railroad bridge on 3rd Street in Eastern near U of L's campus.
The underpass has claimed nearly a dozen victims so far this week, while truck drivers continue to search for new routes due to the I-65 summer shutdown. The new trailer-mounted sign is clear and says, "Low bridge, all semis turn left." But Wave learns the height detection system also needed some tweaks. I-65 project spokesperson Mindy Peterson says workers adjusted one of the sign's pixels to make them easier to read and cleared a beehive blocking their sensors. On top of the warning system, the new message boards tell people, all semis, to turn around before it's too late.
Aside from the mishaps near 3rd Street and Eastern Parkway, KYTC says crews are on time with those bridge repairs so far. The Wave team recorded these time lapses of the construction on the 3 bridges being replaced at Arthur Street, St. Catherine, and also by the fairgrounds. Demolition work is happening at all 3 of those bridge sites. KYTC says crews are working 24/7 to get it all done.
Want to maximize that closure time. When we close an interstate and we impact as many folks as we are impacting, we want to get out of that every single thing we can. There are a lot of benefits to the crew and what they can do when they are working on a closed interstate and they don't have live traffic beside them.
The 5-mile stretch of I-65 from downtown, that's Jefferson Street, to the Watterson is scheduled to stay shut down until August 1st. You can give some feedback on the closures by going to the I-65 Central Corridor Project website. Breaking overnight, one man is dead after a shooting in the Russell neighborhood. This happened just after 1 this morning on Elliott Avenue, not far from Elliott Park. When police got there, they found one man shot. He died at the scene. Police do not have any suspects. They ask you contact 574 LMPD with information.
LMPD says it's looking to improve officers' response to mental health crisis calls after an unarmed man was shot and killed over the weekend. The discussion follows Saturday's deadly police shooting on Cromartie Way. LMPD released the body camera footage as we learned the officer who shot and killed 27-year-old Martin Nitskin Jr., Nathan Stotts, will be terminated. Nitskin's girlfriend called 911 Saturday saying he attacked her and 2 of her friends. She told 911 dispatchers he was bipolar but was never violent in the past. LMPD Deputy Chief Emily McKinley says Officer Stott's decision was wrong.
Officers respond to thousands of these every year. Last year in 2025, we responded to 3,200 crisis response runs, and less than 1% of those runs ended in any sort of injury to anyone. And so we are very successful in resolving these without use of force and without injury to people. In this particular situation, it did not meet our expectations. It did not meet our standards, and that's why we are addressing it so quickly.
The case will be turned over to the Commonwealth Attorney's Office after a review by the LMPD Public Integrity Unit, and we'll play you that full interview with Deputy Chief McKinley at 7:30.
The Louisville Urban League, ACLU, Vocal Kentucky, and NAACP reacted to the deadly shooting. In a joint statement by the organizations, they say this: "We demand that the city and Commonwealth Attorney move past the absolute bare minimum of administrative discipline and follow through on their promise of criminal accountability with a thorough investigation and systemic transparency."
A woman was arrested in Bowling Green accused of trafficking 75 pounds of marijuana through the Louisville airport.
Danielle Mensah is now being held on a $25,000 cash bond with over $150,000 of marijuana with her. Investigators say she flew from Oregon to Louisville. With all that, when she got to SDF, police say she ordered an Uber to take all that to Bowling Green, where they believe she was going to sell it. She's being held in the Warren County Regional Jail, awaiting her arraignment in Warren District Court. Well, as the temperatures start to rise, people in New Albany, Indiana, will have a place to stay cool and safe.
The Culbertson Baptist Church is gearing up for its 3rd year of helping people who need it, and they're getting a financial boost from a new source they say they never expected. Rob Wells is here with details. Rob.
Hi, Olivia. Indiana has reached multiple settlements with major pharmaceutical companies, distributors, and related firms as part of the state's ongoing commitment to accountability and addressing substance abuse. In all, state officials confirm that it'll provide Indiana with more than $1 billion over an 18-year period. Now, some of that money is going toward nonprofits and agencies within the Hoosier State. That brings us to Culbertson Baptist Church. Now, this week, New Albany City Council allocated some $7,500 of the settlement money to the church to help purchase materials and supplies to open up its summer cooling center. The church pastor tells me that it's an investment that could save lives as the mercury begins to soar. And he says it's a place where those funds will ensure that everybody is welcome.
Our first thought would be, of course, the unhoused people, because they don't have anywhere to go if they're homeless. But even if you have an air conditioning unit that is struggling to work at the heat of the day, or even if you can't afford to turn the air conditioning on because you're trying to pay for gasoline or food, or if you're just lonely and you want to have a place to hang out.
Pastor Russell says that the funding will also help to offset costs to pay for utilities to operate that cooling center. It'll also help to pay for other items like bus tickets and bottles of water. The pastor adding that while there were some 5 cooling centers in New Albany just last year, this year his church has been designated as the only one. The pastor tells me that the center will open this season once the heat indices, or the feels like temperatures, hit some 95 degrees. Olivia, back over to you.
Thank you, Rob. We're now just under 2 months away until TARC rolls out the new bus route network.
TARC will reveal some new routes, numbers, schedules, and bus stops. They're trying to give riders more frequent options. The new network will still include service to most JCPS high schools, but we have learned Doss, Eastern, Fern Creek, Moore, and Southern high schools will no longer have a TARC route within half a mile of their campuses. The route changes will start August 2nd. You can learn more about the changes by going to ridetarc.org. Still to come, Ford telling some of its drivers not to drive some vehicles because of a recall.
What problems are found and what we know about repairs coming up.
Safety alert this morning. Ford putting out a new recall, and it's a rare case as the manufacturer is warning people to stop driving their vehicles immediately. The recall is for certain Ford Bronco Sports from model years 2021 to 2026 and Ford Mavericks from 2022 to 2026. The recall notes the front lower control arm ball joints may have been incorrectly installed or repaired. The control arm could disconnect from the front wheel knuckle, leading to a crash. Recall letters are in the works now. Ford dealerships will make necessary repairs at no cost. It's been more than a year since an EF2 tornado tore through Washington County, Kentucky.
Emergency managers now want to take lessons from what happened to prepare for similar disasters in the future. The tornado touched down on a rural one-lane road on May 30th of last year. One person died and several more were hurt. Rescue crews had to use chainsaws to cut through the debris and clear a path for ambulances. Almost 100 volunteers from different counties joined from the rescue mission, and County EMA director says it was one of the hardest moments of his more than 2-decade-long career.
It was a challenge getting in and out and getting, people in and out because everybody's trying to go both ways. It looked like a bomb had kind of went off in several houses.
As the county plans for future severe weather events, Devine said he does not foresee Washington County adding more warning sirens, but they do plan on boosting their communication plans with neighboring communities. But crazy to think that it was just a year ago.
Yeah, and Tawana was on the air for hours covering that and letting people know what to expect.
Yeah, that was certainly one of those wild mornings where we tracked that storm for a while before things actually touched down in Washington County. Thankfully, we are seeing quiet weather across the region for today with plenty of sunshine. Corden, you are showing off with that sun beaming down in the blue skies overhead. So we're going to be keeping an eye on that sunshine throughout the day. A few clouds drifting by, but these are mainly upper level clouds, and most of the clouds that we will see for today will be those upper level clouds. So that means sunshine easily able to get through. High pressure in control of not just only our weather, but most of the weather for the eastern seaboard. With that, we still have some of that cooler, less humid air in place for the start of the day. This is why the majority of us are waking up to temperatures in the 50s. However, across the metro, seeing a couple of low 60s showing up. 62 degrees right now at the airport in Louisville, 64 here at Wave News, but 56 in New Albany, 54 for those of you in Shepherdsville, and over in the Buckner, you're currently sitting at 56 degrees. Everybody in that blue, which means, yes, we're all in the pleasant category. Low humidity still across the region for today. Now, humidity does go up slightly as we head into the afternoon, especially as those temperatures climb into the mid 80s in most spots. Keep in mind, the warmer we get, the more moisture the atmosphere can hold. So that's why it's a little bit easier for that humidity to go up on those warmer days. Going to keep things on the warmer side for tonight as well, with that southerly wind still in play. That is why we're only falling down into the low 60s in most spots for your lows. Your 10-day shows this. We have that warmth lasting through next week, with highs mainly staying in the 80s. More of those pleasant conditions with mid 80s around for your Friday. Some upper 80s showing up on Saturday as we add in some extra clouds. And then Sunday, that is when our rain chances go up a little bit more. We'll have a cold front dipping down towards us, but not quite going through the area. Plus some of that tropical moisture being pulled directly into our region, helping to fuel some of these scattered showers and thunderstorms. It'll be just that. Scattered. Not everyone will see that rainfall or on Sunday or for most of next week, as we keep those rounds of scattered showers and thunderstorms in our forecast at least through next Thursday. But as we start to dry out towards the following weekend, this is when we have a better chance to see some of those highs near 90 degrees. But how warm we get for the end of next week will also be dependent on how much rain we see over the next 10 days. So a lot to watch, certainly, as we get into the weekend and then next week. Shannon, Olivia.
Thank you. Kentucky's defending state baseball champion heading back to Lexington to prove they belong at the top of the playoff tournament.
Trinity opens play against Bullitt East tomorrow in Lexington. Wave News reporter Logan Perrone met some of the Shamrock seniors on their quest for a back-to-back title.
37 wins and just 3 losses. Another year and another impressive record has the Trinity Shamrocks baseball team in the running to repeat as state champions.
We have a lot of experience going into this.
Grayson Willoughby is the team's ace and was named Kentucky Mr. Baseball on Wednesday. But he says each player, especially from the senior class, has played a role.
Every one of these guys produces in some form or fashion. We've been together all 4 years. Some of us played up and some of us played through freshman JV ball. But now that we're all here together, it just means a little bit more knowing that, this is kind of it.
The roster is loaded. Nearly every senior is continuing their playing careers at the next level. Zach Floyd is one of 2 players who plan to play for U of L next year.
It's a tradition here. The better baseball players, they do want to come to this program because they know how good Coach Arnold is and the staff and how good the teammates are. So
Max Preps ranks the Rocks as the best team in Kentucky and the 3rd best in the nation. Floyd says the team's focus isn't on the outside noise, but what they do on the field.
At the end of the day, we're just going out there trying to play our best baseball and just trying to have fun. And, the rankings will put us wherever they want. And our end goal is to win state. So
with a 2nd consecutive state title on the line, Willoughby knows it will take the whole team.
And we're just one big unit, so together we win.
The Shamrocks will open the first round against the Bullitt East Chargers on Friday at Legends Field in Lexington. Reporting in St. Matthews, Logan Perrone, Wave News.
Well, while many see summer as a time to kick back and relax, some experts and law enforcement leaders say stay vigilant, especially when it comes to protecting your wallet. AARP hosted a summer scam jam seminar talking education and awareness about identity theft, cybercrime, and elder abuse. They say the best thing you can do is report any scam attempt to authorities.
When people are victims of scams, and that's what they are victims because they were targeted. They are ashamed to say what happened, how much they lost, and they don't want to tell people. And that's part of the problem, because when we don't say what happened, it allows it to happen to our neighbors and our friends and our family.
And one of the things that they did was they looked at pictures, the people there, and one was artificial intelligence, one was real, and they tried to see if they could tell the difference. It is very hard to do that right now, right?
Yes, it is.
Demand for data centers continues to grow in Kentucky. People in the legal field have been watching these conversations closely.
Kentucky's Public Service Commission, LG&E, and Kentucky Utilities say it had upwards of 30 potential data center projects in the works this year. Nonprofit Kentucky Resources Council say this is why they put out a model ordinance defining data centers with a goal to better regulate where they can be placed. Byron Gary, a program attorney for the KRC, is now working working to spread awareness about the need for transparency for counties.
That the earlier they can engage with their constituents and the more open and honest the dialogue they can have with them, the better the process works.
President Trump signed an executive order this week surrounding data center expansion after rejecting an initial draft last month. The order asks AI companies to allow for a voluntary government review before releasing them to the public.
And taking a closer look at developments in our area, the most recent data center proposal to come through is in Charlestown, Indiana. A private company recently purchased 12 acres in Shadow Lake Industrial Park. Charlestown's Mayor Treva Hodges learned about their plans to build a data center after the company requested to host a public hearing on the proposal. That hearing was scheduled for June 8th, but we've learned it's been postponed and there is no new date confirmed or announced just yet. Still to come, this is going to be new baby tiger cubs born at the Louisville Zoo.
We have an update on how Mom is doing and when you can expect to see them on exhibit.
Eastern Kentucky is headed to the New York stage. A local playwright's play about a Kentucky candy maker is going off Broadway.
And now a hometown theater group is raising money to make the trip to cheer them on. Neely Green has more.
From a Kentucky kitchen to an off-Broadway stage, playwright Kat Gogan is taking audiences back to the 1920s, telling the true story of Ruth Hunt, a Mount Sterling candy maker whose friends pushed her to turn sweets made at home into a real business.
Ruth Hunt, who is from Mount Sterling, a candy maker, starting in the 1920s at her home with a bridge club, and her friends encouraged her to branch out into a business.
Gogan says it's more than a history lesson. It's a story about what it took for a woman to build something in a time when that wasn't easy, and why that message still matters across Kentucky today.
That's what people need to know about Kentucky and about small towns in Kentucky. The people are resilient, and this, I think, represents that. And I think that's why taking it to the national stage is so important.
The play was first performed in Mount Sterling, then taken to Louisville, where the response helped push it onto a bigger stage.
Grace Regional Arts Center at Mount Sterling first performed the play. Then they performed it in April at the Actors Theater in Louisville. And that's when we all found out that it's going to New York City.
Now, supporters in the community say the trip isn't cheap, but they believe it's worth it, not just for the cast and crew, but for Eastern Kentucky.
I hope we break the stereotype.
Yes, I think it means for Eastern Kentucky, don't ever give up,
Right.
If you have a dream, catch it.
They're raising money through donations and an online auction, hoping the community helps send them to New York to cheer on a Kentucky story on a national stage.
Good luck to them. Okay, the Louisville Zoo has 3 new adorable residents.
The Amur tiger Victoria is now a mom of triplets, and it's a big win to add more numbers to this endangered species. Staff tell us mom and her cubs are bonding out of view from zoo visitors right now. The triplets are the first Amur tigers born at the Louisville Zoo in 22 years. It'll still be a while, though, before we get to see them in their new habitat.
We're looking forward to them getting out, but that's going to usually takes a couple of months, because right now they just kind of roll around. They're barely able to lift up their weight and their heads. They're not doing any walking or running at this point.
The cubs will stay in Louisville for at least a couple of years. Look how cute they are.
So cute.
Just want to cuddle them.
And mom looks exhausted.
Right?
She's like,
she's mom of triplets. You know how it is with twins.
Yeah. Couldn't imagine triplets. We'll be right back.
This Wave News Update is sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
Good morning, I'm Shannon Kogan. Today, Kentucky driver's license offices are closed. This is so workers can make software upgrades. Last month, Governor Andy Beshear announced a new modernized system and online portal, which he says will help cut down on long wait times. Regional licensing offices will be closed today and tomorrow. They'll then reopen on Monday to transfer the systems. Here is Tawana, and boy, we've been lucky this week with the weather.
Oh yeah, the weather has been absolutely gorgeous. Hasn't felt like June just yet. But now, as we head into this afternoon, that is when we'll get more of that June weather coming our way. Our Corden SkyTrack camera showing the sun beaming down, a few of those upper level clouds overhead. Your temperatures are starting to warm up now that we've had that sun over the horizon for about an hour. So we're sitting mainly in the upper 50s outside the metro, still some low 60s showing up in Louisville itself. However, humidity still low for right now. It will slightly increase as we head into the afternoon. Your temperatures climbing to the mid 80s for most of us. Some upper 80s possible in the Louisville metro. Your 10-day shows that we're going to keep those highs right around that 87-degree mark again for tomorrow before we warm up even more for the weekend and then add in some more of those scattered showers and thunderstorms as we head into your Sunday and through most of next week.
Rob.
Tawana, 2 traffic alerts I want to pass along to you. Again, we have that 65 stretch, the 5 miles closed for the next 2 months. Again, folks merging, doing a lot of navigating out there, but we do have 2 accidents we're still cleaning up from. This one from more than an hour ago at Eastern Parkway at Dahlia Drive. I was hoping that would be clear by this point, but we're not seeing that as of right yet, so certainly watch your speed through there. Also keeping our eyes on another one, the Waterston Expressway eastbound lanes at exit 65. That's exit number 12 if you usually take that to navigate or to pick up detours. Watch that because there is a crash in that area. Make it a great morning. We'll see you in 25 minutes from now.
Good morning. Happy Thursday to you. Hope your day is off to a great start, and hopefully you haven't had too much trouble this week navigating that I-65 shutdown. But Metro ABC issued an emergency suspension of a liquor license for Veronica's Mexican restaurant on Poplar Level Road. The agency says the restaurant is tied to a deadly DUI crash that happened on May 14th. Wave News reporter Arlena Noakes has more on what the Metro says they've uncovered.
And this emergency suspension order issued by Metro ABC against Veronica's Mexican restaurant here on Poplar Level Road. Investigators say that they found both the driver and the passenger in that deadly DUI crash had a blood alcohol level double the legal limit. The emergency suspension order says evidence found that 19-year-old Ayana Wilbanks and 23-year-old Dasharay Benet were overserved at Veronica's Mexican restaurant back on May 14th. Benet had a blood alcohol level of 0.168 when she got behind the wheel of her car. Her passenger, Wilbanks BAC, was above that at 0.18. With Benet at the wheel, both would make it nearly 20 minutes away before Benet crashed on Logan Street, killing Wilbanks and injuring another passenger. Metro ABC Chief Investigator Ronald Fay says before they stepped out of that restaurant, no one could have missed the signs.
In witness accounts and through our investigation, we also seen clear signs, both on video and with eyewitness accounts, that these people were overly impaired prior to leaving that establishment.
It would have been obvious to the staff there.
Absolutely.
The restaurant has an extensive drink menu made up of daiquiris and margaritas by the glass and by the tower. We don't know what or just how much the girls consume to put them so far over the legal limit. It's not clear if staff ever ID'd Wilbanks, or Benet. This order makes the 11th time the Metro has had to issue an emergency suspension.
If any of these licensed establishments engage in any action that creates a danger to public health, safety, or welfare, we're going to take those actions to correct that.
Veronica's can remain open, but can only serve food. Veronica's on Poplar Level Road is the only Veronica's location impacted by this emergency suspension order. In Louisville, Alina Oaks, Wave News.
An Indiana man is now out tens of thousands of dollars after an alleged gold bar scam. The Jackson County Sheriff's Department arrested 45-year-old James Jenkins of Scott County in the alleged scheme. Jenkins was charged with 2 counts of fraud after he was accused of selling counterfeit silver and gold bars. In one incident, deputies say a man bought more than $38,000 worth of silver bars from Jenkins. The victim had the bars examined and they turned out to be fake. Investigators learned Jenkins was arranging a sale valued at $210,000 and they arrested him in a special operation. They believe there may be another person involved in the scheme and possibly more victims. If you believe you may have purchased precious metals from James or Kathy Jenkins, you're asked to contact the Jackson County Sheriff's Department. We're hearing more from LMPD after a man experiencing a mental health crisis was shot and killed by an officer. Wave News anchor Scott Reynolds sat down with Deputy Chief Emily McKinley to discuss the shooting and where the department goes from here.
Sitting down with LMPD's Deputy Chief Emily McKinley to discuss recent concerns in our community and how the department is handling those. And here comes summer as well. First, let's address the deadly shooting that happened from over the weekend. Just yesterday, of course, the department releasing the body cam footage from what happened. In the video, we saw Officer Nathan Stotts responding to a call about a man who had assaulted several people. And ultimately, Stotts ended up shooting that suspect, 27-year-old Martin Nitzkin Jr. He later died. What about LMPD's policy? How much does an officer know usually by the time they get to the scene, and what can they ascertain when they're there, and how those decisions are made?
Right. So first, my thoughts go out to Martin Nitzkin's family. I know that's a very difficult video to watch. It's a very difficult situation that they are facing. I can't imagine the loss that they are feeling. Officers respond to crisis situations thousands of times every year. Every single one of them are a little bit different. They receive information via dispatch that 911 callers may provide to our call takers. And so officers are operating on the information that they receive from dispatch, information that they receive from witnesses on scene as they arrive and try to resolve whatever situation they're responding to.
We heard from the chief that, this is quick. The video comes out. The process of termination for this officer. Do you think it had to do with proximity, not in a closed area near a bathroom in a house, but out on an open street with some distance between the officer and all the decisions that are made, whether it's tasing or something else than shooting?
Right. So this is still an ongoing investigation. We reviewed that body cam video the night of and the 911 calls and all of the other subsequent evidence that we collected from that evening. We had some grave concerns about this officer's response, and the chief made a decision to proceed with starting the termination process for this officer. And as far as the other details of the investigation, all of that will play out as the criminal investigation continues, as well as our administrative investigation.
Every time something like this happens, we hear about, more training for the officers, more resources for the community. And it seems like a lot has been done. Mm-hmm. Things like this still happen. Can there be even more? I mean, what steps can be taken beyond what's already been applied?
So every officer receives extensive crisis response training, both in the academy as a recruit and throughout their career during annual in-service training. So this is a constant training topic that we are addressing, as whether it's crisis response or decision making. And so this is something that we were always looking to improve. But the thing is officers respond to thousands of these every year. Last year in 2025, we responded to 3,200 crisis response runs, and less than 1% of those runs ended in any sort of injury to anyone. And so we are very successful in resolving these without use of force and without injury to people. In this particular situation, it did not meet our expectations. It did not meet our standards, and that's why we are addressing it so quickly.
JCPS has been out of school now, we know, for about a week and a half. And how's it looking when it comes to teens involved in crime? What are you doing to help ensure that it's a safe summer season? You know, the city's had to grapple with maybe the Big Four Bridge area or burnouts with cars and street blockages. It seems like there are different problems that can pop up with kids on social media. How do you ascertain what might happen?
So this is something that we are getting ahead of. We started our summer task force a few weeks ago, and that is a dedicated group of officers that are mobile throughout our city, whether that's sending these officers to the waterfront to address a problem, or maybe they need to go to the Highlands, or maybe they'll need to go to Dixie Highway or somewhere out in Fern Creek to address whatever problem that might pop up. We now have a set of dedicated officers to address any problem in our city and be mobile throughout our city. And we've seen that to be successful over the past few weeks. And even addressing issues with teens and juveniles, we have enforced the curfew. So during the week, Monday through Thursday, that curfew is 11 p.m. And on the weekends, it is at 1 a.m. And so when we have had teens that we've encountered committing violent crime or any sort of crime, if they are out beyond that curfew, we've also added that curfew charge. And so that's something that we encourage our officers to do, to hold kids and parents accountable.
A lot of people probably are still wondering about staffing within LMPD. You know, you hear you're down 100, 200, 300 officers. Where does it stand now, and how do you catch up with recruit classes when you have attrition and officers sometimes leaving the department for other department jobs? Where is it standing now?
So right now we have about 1,050 officers, sworn officers on our department. We just hired or sworn in 24 recruits a week or so ago. So that's exciting. We have another class of recruits that are going to start the academy in July. There's currently a class in the academy right now. And so we see our academy classes increasing, whereas a few years ago we were graduating, in the teens. Now we have in the 20s as far as graduates of our academy. So that's promising. But it's going to take time to build our staffing up. We just had a staffing study that was published and released, and they suggested the department to be staffed at around 1,130 officers. And so we'll work to get to that level, but that will take some time.
Well, we thank you for coming in and talking about the summer and the police force and what's been going on in the community, Deputy Chief McKinley.
Thank you.
All right, we're back with more tomorrow.
We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have a quick look at your weather and talk about the Kentucky State Fair just around the corner in August. We'll be right back.
Meteorologist Juana Andrew here with your Thursday forecast. And for today, plenty of sunshine and warmer conditions with highs in the mid to upper 80s. Now, most of us will be in the mid 80s. The Metro could see some of those upper 80s for highs this afternoon. But either way, a lot warmer than where we were yesterday. Now, for tonight, not as cool as we have that southerly wind and a little bit more of that humidity across the region. So with that, we're only falling down into the upper 50s and low 60s by tomorrow morning. Speaking of tomorrow, we'll end up in the 80s again for your highs, as humidity is still relatively low for this time of the year. The humidity, cloud cover, and those temperatures all go up as we head into the weekend, with rain chances really increasing on your Sunday. Even then, though, mainly talking about some scattered showers and thunderstorms coming our way. We're going to keep some sort of rain chance as we head through most of next week, with highs mainly in the 80s. That is until we get towards next weekend. That's when we could see some low 90s trying to show up.
Looks great out there, and it feels great out there as well.
The pools will be busy, and rightfully so. We look forward to it.
Well, speaking of things heating up, we know it is always hot in August, and that means the Kentucky State Fair is right around the corner, and tickets will go live at 10 o'clock today. Tickets are about $9 each, and they include parking. Kids under 5 are free. You can buy those tickets online or participate in Kroger locations. The State Fair is expected to announce their concert series next month as well. The concerts are free with your ticket and sponsored by Texas Roadhouse every year. And this year, the State Fair is focused on celebrating America's 250th birthday with special exhibits and themed competitions.
And you can even see some little ducks out there. Those were cute too. Hey, how about that? Take a look at this picture. You can get the State Fair's first 2026 event poster. That's in August. It features nods to America's 250th birthday, the World Championship Horse Show, and Freedom Hall. Look at the detail on that. I love the colors in this. The poster's theme this year is country traditions and country celebrations. By the way, this year's fair is August 20th through the 30th. Guests can buy a copy of that poster at the fair. Can't wait for that. Hey, you know, no doubt each generation has a brand new way of playing video games, and there's a new place right here in Louisville where the players don't just play the game, they actually can enter it. This is kind of cool.
Yeah, Activate Louisville offers immersive games and technology-driven game rooms, and Wave News reporter Marissa Berg had a chance to check that out this morning.
This is one of the new games called Scan. So, okay, we're going to have to restart some things. So what happens is we have to scan in and pick a color. And so I'm going to pick blue, and then they're going to pick their own colors, and we're going to be running around the room and pretty much grocery shopping. This is a fun way to do it. So we'll be, okay, so where's the colors? Okay. Oh, okay, I need an apple. So you pick the fruit or the item, and then since I'm blue, I gotta get my blue apple, and then okay, I need the drink over here, gotta scan that, go get that. Okay, okay, see, it's not bad. This one's not as bad as the other one. Oh, where's my broccoli? Oh, bless it. Oh, I keep going past it. So, wrong one. Okay, so, okay, that wasn't bad. That wasn't bad. So I'm here with Kasia, who is the general manager, and you guys have added more experiences like this to kind of get people's heart rates and their competitive spirits out.
Yeah, definitely. We do something called the Global Leagues as well, where you can kind of play on a team, build your own team, and then play against teams across the entire world.
Oh, so you get to bring some friends and really see who's going to come out on top.
Oh, yeah.
But this is just, again, one of many games that you guys have here, because we did the lasers. And then what else did we do this morning?
We did Mega Grid, which is running across those colorful tiles. Mega Laser is one of our new games. And then this is one of our new games as well, called Scan.
And when people come out here, how does everything work? So do they have a game pass, or what are they signing up for?
So they get to do either 60 minutes or 90. They can choose between the two, depending on how much energy they have. They'll come out here, play for that time period. Any of the games they'll get to play while they're here.
Okay, so guys, I've been here all morning and we have had a great time. My heart rate is up. We've had some good competitive fun. So if you're curious about how things work or which games you will come out on top in, you got to come check out Activate Louisville. Marissa Burke, Wave News.
I love how they also specified depending on how much energy they have.
Yeah, it looks like a workout, man. She was getting her, and it's just fun to watch Marissa. No matter where she goes, she's so cool to watch.
Well, speaking of getting active, an incredible opportunity for kids who are passionate about dancing is now back.
I love this story. The Louisville Ballet is searching for brand new young dancers.
Again, you go apart, together, apart, together.
Look at the skill there. You got to love it. The Ballet Bound program is returning this summer. Now, they're going to hold free community auditions at neighborhood parks as well as downtown studios. The goal is to find kids ages 7 to 9 who may not have access to dance lessons because of financial or geographical barriers.
We thought it was important for us to go into communities that don't typically have access to classical ballet training. So we are going into parks in West Louisville, Central Louisville, South Louisville to find students who may not typically think that ballet was an accessible art form for them.
How cool is that? I love it. There's talent everywhere. We know that. By the way, once auditions finally wrap up, the ballet is going to select some 20 kids who will receive tuition-free training during the upcoming performance season. I love watching that. And there's, like I said, that just sparks creativity and talent everywhere.
Absolutely. Well, teens in our area can work out for free all summer long at Planet Fitness. The gym will once again offer free memberships as part of their high school summer pass program. It's open to high schoolers ages 14 to 19. They can work out for free now through August 31st. And they find that teenagers aren't hitting their being active goals.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be active for 1 hour every single day. They apparently don't do that during the summer.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of parents are like, yeah, I know.
It's good to get them out there and have that kind of opportunity for them, especially right here at home.
All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have some updated news for drivers out there on the roads. We'll be right back. Well, a heads up here right now, Kentucky is installing its brand new driver's licensing system. So today, physical driver's licensing offices have to close so workers can set up that equipment. Last month, Governor Andy Beshear announced a new modernized system and online portal, which he says will help cut down on wait times. Regional licensing offices will be closed today and tomorrow. They'll reopen Monday the 8th to transfer the systems. The state says there will be walk-in hours from 8 a.m. to noon through June 18th to allow for a smooth transition. Statewide average walk-in customer times dropped just to 14 minutes. That's down from 49 minutes in April of 2025 when so many of us remember waiting so long for those. And new changes for drivers in Indiana. The state's Bureau of Motor Vehicles says new drivers will soon be able to get their license on their 16th birthday. Young drivers previously had to wait 90 days after their 16th birthday to legally drive. The requirements to get an Indiana driver's license haven't changed, though. So starting July 1st, drivers who want to get their license on their 16th birthday need to pass the written test and hold their learner's permit for 6 months. Plus, they have to finish their driver's education program and pass the driving test. But I remember going on my 16th birthday to go get my learner's permit in Kentucky. And we know now Kentuckians just have to be 15 to get their permits. Well, even more good news for Indiana drivers. AAA is calling Indiana's gas the cheapest in the country. Hoosier drivers are set to feel more budget relief for at least another month, too. Governor Mike Braun is extending the Indiana gas tax suspension through July 7th. It'll save Hoosiers around 62 cents per gallon. Right now, an average gallon of unleaded gas in Indiana costs $3.58. The national average is $4.26. So well below the national average there. I actually had the chance to talk to Governor Mike Braun last week, and he told me that tax usually goes to infrastructure. And right now they're in such a good place financially that the infrastructure isn't really affected by that loss of the gas tax right now. So he's able to make those cuts, and he'll be able to extend that by another 60 days. So he's just reassessing month by month, looking at the Iranian war and how that will affect gas prices here, and if he needs to suspend them again. But right now it's still not clear if Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear will extend his executive order on gas prices that started on May 11th. So gas prices, the big conversation right now, and honestly, might be worth it to just take a drive across the bridge just to get some cheaper gas. That's all the time we have here for Sunrise Extra today. We will see you back here tomorrow morning when it's Friday, the weekend so close. Have a great Thursday.